Hey, it's Brad with the Eagle Network Podcast. Here with Alan Lowe is the sound engineer today. Thaddeus is taking a little bit of time away from the studio.
Welcome to the Eagle Network Podcast, where business networking meets success. Sponsored by Eagle Pest Solutions, your once-a-year pest control solution in Palm Coast, St. Augustine, and Ormond Beach. Safer, better, less intrusive pest control. Got bugs? No one likes bugs. Come soar with us. Call today at 386-445-7414 for a free inspection and quote. That's 386-445-7414. Now here's your host, Brad Ward.
And we're here with David Paul with USA Benefits Group. David, welcome.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So let's talk about your business journey. So you're a young man, 25, and you work for USA Benefits Group, health insurance, supplements, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about what got you into the business and go from there?
Certainly. Yeah. First thing I'll say is anyone that you know of who's in health insurance, which there's a few of us, that's always a great question to ask because
Okay.
most people don't dream about being a health insurance broker.
No? Oh,
Not
I
the
used
norm.
I used to lay at night in my bed thinking I gotta be a health insurance.
Me
Not
too.
Not a baseball professional.
No,
but
not an
player.
astronaut, not a
Right,
firefighter.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, health insurance broker, that's the dream.
Either that or pest control. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's always a good question. So anybody you know, if you want an interesting answer, I think that's always something to ask. That's really good. Myself, so before I was involved in health insurance, I was a marketing manager and a personal trainer at Empower
Right.
Fitness.
Right.
Shout out to Fatima and Lou, and Justin as well. They're wonderful owners. They had taught me a lot through my journey there, and
Okay.
there's a lot of opportunity for me to network and meet people. It was a great way I could branch out into the community, which I did. I loved every day I was there. I just got to
Right,
see
right.
people, make wonderful connections, really get to know people on a personal level. And one gentleman who we became really good friends, and I say this because most people don't picture this, but he's 65, so we've a bit of an age difference, but we're really, really good friends. And we would work out, and I'd train with him. We just really clicked well, and I had no idea what he did for work or anything like that. We were just good friends.
Right.
And then the one day he told me what he did, which was started a health insurance company back when he was in Ohio, and this is
Okay.
36 years ago now. And he saw something in me at the time that I didn't, and wanted to help me and mentor me, and that was Don Duryea. So him and his wife Gail were just so wonderful to me and
That's
helped me
great.
get involved, teach me the ropes, and got me in with a really, really great team of people. I mean, they really are leading with their heart and trying to do the right thing. And
Right.
I'm sure anybody who knows health insurance knows it's not a pretty market. There's a lot of problems, and they're really, out to help people as best as they possibly can. And it's a great organization, so I'm happy to
That's
be
great.
a part of it.
So has he been your biggest mentor or one of them?
Definitely one of the
Yeah,
biggest for sure. And him and his wife Gail, they hold that because they got me to the next step. Where I've
Okay.
always tried to have some mentors in my life. I just love people. I love to learn from them.
Right.
So it was just a pivotal moment where I had just started maxing out everything I could do in my current position.
Okay,
There was almost
yeah.
nothing else I could take another jump to do.
Right.
So it was just a great time, great position to be able to transition. But before that, I mean, I've always tried to have some mentors. Lou and Fatima Senna, they were probably some of my first in this community.
Okay.
They're the owners of Empower, and Fatima is just
Right.
a wonderful business owner,
Okay.
great mind. Also, same thing.
Awesome.
Great heart. If you can't tell, that's my theme of people. That's the thing I'm just most attracted towards.
Right.
Is your outlook on people, the heart you have towards others. And she just, for whatever reason, just really believed in me and wanted to see me succeed and just helped me so much grow. Like
That's
along
great.
the way, it was an incredible experience.
That's awesome. I can attest, David, that you are very motivated. You care about people. You're there to help them, period, health insurance and otherwise. So thank you for being an inspiration for a lot of folks, especially I'm thinking high school kids, stuff like that, because you're still a young man. To them, you're not.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But you're definitely an inspiration. Switch gears a little bit. A
Yeah.
question for you. Networking. What impact has networking had on you personally and your business?
The largest impact it could possibly have. My business today, I say I'm more in the people business than anything. Making connections, making relationships.
Right.
I don't even call it networking. It's just making friends to me. I like going out. I love getting to know people. And that knack of wanting to know someone and wanting to build a relationship. I've always been very interested in psychology and psychological principles. And that's something it's just an intrinsic curiosity of mine, where I love getting to know somebody. I love hearing a story.
Right.
Being in Palm Coast, typically I am around older people. And
What are you saying?
I didn't mean here today, but and maybe that adds to it, because I think I'm around a lot of great business owners, and maybe there's other things involved, but I'm sure a part of it is my age, where I feel like I can go up to anybody and start asking them questions, and they want to pour into me. They want to share insights. They want to teach me about, their industry. And to me, I love it.
Yeah.
Like when I was at Empower Fitness and I'd be at the gym, I love talking to the older guys. They have all the knowledge, wisdom, experience in life. You see a variety of people, so they all have different backgrounds. That to me is like the coolest learning I could ever do.
Yeah,
I love to
awesome.
stay educated, love reading books. More recently been audiobooks, but love to learn. So that was just like the coolest thing ever, and that really pivoted me to lengths like I don't think I could have got to otherwise. So
That's
on the
awesome.
networking aspect is huge. I
Right.
mean, it's number one if you approach it, I would say appropriately. I think
Right.
it's extremely beneficial to anybody if you have that knack. And for me, like, that is the most enjoyable part of my business. Is I get to go out and meet people. I get to go to an event. I get to see friends. I get to meet some new people. Like, that's what keeps it so
No, that's
intriguing
awesome.
to me.
Yeah, that's nice.
I am in insurance. There's only so much you can pull from having a challenge in the field.
Right.
So going out and meeting people, it's just like, it's always something new. It's something interesting. I get to, go to go to an event, get involved in the community more. Like,
No, that's nice.
that's what I really love. Truthfully.
Right. I have to agree with you. For me, it's helping customers, seeing the customers, seeing their dogs. I'm kind of a dog lover.
Me too.
And it's networking. Love networking. Same thing, getting to know people, asking questions, building relationships. And it's interesting. You talk a little bit about age. I network with people from 18, 19 years old to my friend, very good friend and fellow St. Louis Cardinal fan, Jim Taylor, who's
Jim.
91,
Yep.
92 almost now.
Yeah.
And I can learn from an 18-year-old, may know something that I haven't thought about. And of course, Jim Taylor is a wealth of knowledge. So it's awesome to meet business people, motivated business people, people who have knowledge, and kind of be a sponge. I read quite a bit too. I'm known to read 2 or 3 books at one time, actually.
Crazy for that.
Yeah, thank you.
How you do it.
But it's just trying to learn, get better every day. And you definitely have that. And I know a lot of people that way. Any other mentors? You talked about the main mentors, it seems. Has there been any other ones that kind of stick out to you that's helped you on your journey?
Definitely. The biggest one is honestly my brother John. So
Right.
watching him, he definitely breached out into the community well before I did with his company, I Help. And
Absolutely.
he's always been one of the biggest motivations in my life. I mean, seeing how hard he works for himself. He's always doing right for the people he's
Right.
helping.
Yeah.
I mean, truly has a heart of gold. So I mean, he's my big brother. So I do look up to him in a lot of ways,
Sure.
and because he deserves it. He is working hard. He is putting the time in. I mean, I know a lot of people see him out in the community, but watching him behind closed doors,
Okay,
it's,
yeah.
Hopefully he's not watching this and his head's getting too big, but I mean, he's remarkable. So that was always number one for me.
Gotcha.
And then I've always tried to keep some people around I can always learn from. Bill Verhagen was another one who helped me immensely.
Yep.
You know him,
Right.
David Moon's partner with Innovative Financial
Right.
Solutions. I knew him very early on, again from John.
Okay.
Always he has a heart of gold, so he's always willing to help, give insight, give advice. And then in my business now, the current owners, Jess and Rick Banville. Jess is like my main mentor today.
Okay,
She's
yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
I'm in constant contact with. She's
Okay.
like, just helps me beyond belief. She's I mean this in the best way possible. She is like the biggest cheerleader I've ever had.
Oh,
I
awesome.
mean, because when you're in an industry, and you're working for yourself, it can be very isolating. So to have someone I can call who understands the industry, understands the things I'm going through, helps me work through hard situations or problems, and there for the losses, there for the successes.
Right.
I mean, and again, same thing, absolute heart of gold, where she's just so motivated to help people and do
That's
right
great.
by them, and it has propelled me forward greatly.
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
That's great to have people like that. So right now, David, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hello, welcome to Good Vibes Nutrition, where every day is Friday. Good Vibes Nutrition was created to provide an environment of self-improvement through health, happiness, and community. Whether it's to lose weight, build muscle, gain more energy, or make friends, think of Good Vibes Nutrition as your Flagler Center hub for healthy living, personal happiness, and long-lasting relationships through the examples of kindness, encouragement, introductions, and pure love.
Jay Shear. Are you a business owner or entrepreneur trying to figure out how to improve and achieve greater results? If so, I'm speaking to you. I provide the tools, coaching, and accountability you need to gain clarity around your personal and professional goals, remove the excuses holding you back, build the mindset, leadership skills, and proven strategies to grow your business and become the best version of yourself. To learn more or to apply for my coaching services, call 904-236-0431 or visit jshearbusinessconsulting.com.
Thank you again to the sponsors. And back to what we were just talking about, other mentors. I do want to mention I'm friends with John Paul, David's older brother. I knew John before David, and he hit the nail on the head with John. John's a great guy. Love every time I see John and talking to John. Very, very intelligent person. Very intelligent person. And a great heart as well. So I just want to put that out. Your brother's awesome and probably a little tough to live up to, huh?
Try not to look at it like that.
Okay. Question for you. This is a tough question. I've started asking guests. It may take some thought, but if networking success had a theme song, what would it be and why?
That is a good question. I don't know if I could say one, but I do have a few, and you probably won't know any of them.
You talking the age thing?
Probably. That probably comes into play. It's not going to be classic rock.
Oh, man.
But there's a song by Kid Cudi, and it's called Sky Might Fall. And it's just about a journey through life. Things can go wrong. They probably will go wrong. But when you have God by your side, it can pull you out of anything. And with having that, you're able to walk through things, the unknown, with more confidence, because in the end, it's all going to be okay. And I think
Gotcha.
that's so important for business, because things aren't always going to work out. It's not sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
If
Oh,
you
absolutely.
talk to someone
yeah.
who's not a business owner and you say you're self-employed, and they're like, oh, that must be so nice. You can, work when you want. And it's like, yeah, I get to pick the 12 hours out of the day that I want to work. And
Right. Yep, exactly.
So that's definitely one of them. There's another one by Lil Wayne, and it's called,
Now I know Lil Wayne.
of course,
We go way back.
No Quitter, No Quitter, Go Getter. And it's just about, again, persevering, having that heart to drive you
Okay.
forward, not giving up, keeping a level head.
Right.
And then there's probably one other one by, I'll say Kid Cudi again, but it's called Heart of a Lion, because you really have to have that perseverance to keep pushing forward. If things go wrong, it's not a problem. It's an opportunity. You have another learning lesson.
Right,
You get
right,
something to build
absolutely.
on.
Yep.
Right. And that just ties into the growth mindset, which if you're a business owner, I think you almost have to have that. I don't know how else you get through it if you have a fixed mindset of just like, I can never be better. This is it. This is the cards I was dealt. It's like, no, if there's something out there, like I can learn it, I can study, I can
Right.
become better, I can improve myself. And that's the journey of business ownership.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not just
Absolutely.
about the business. It's a huge personal growth track that you're building on and running towards.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of three, but I'll spin them together to
Okay.
kind of tackle each
No,
thing.
no,
where-
that was great. That was great. All three of them, especially how you detailed why. That's awesome.
I'm very big into music. I absolutely love music, and I try and keep positive things that are flowing through my brain.
Oh, that's
if I'm going to
nice.
listen to something, I want it to be uplifting. I want it to get me
Absolutely.
motivated.
Absolutely.
And of course, the more it can relate to my life and circumstances, I mean, the more engaged I'll be with it.
Right, right. One thing I sometimes see small business owners that I think they stop growing. They stop growing personally in their business. And quite frankly, you can tell it.
Yep.
You can tell it. If you want to get better, you have to keep growing. You have to keep learning, having conversations, having mentors, whether it's reading books, listening to business podcasts, whatever the case may be. So I'm with you 100%. Back to networking. What networking advice would you give to someone just starting a business and they're thinking about networking? What advice would you give them about networking and maybe how to go about networking to be successful?
That's a great question. So if you know who Jordan Peterson is, I'm sure you do, and if anybody listening knows who he is, a big thing he talks about is having a target, right? So if you're
Okay.
an archer and you're at the range, you need to have a target. You
Right.
need to have something to aim at,
Right.
right? Because if you
Yep.
go and you don't have that, what are you doing? You're just shooting arrows, all over the place. So I think the first thing is you need to have a target. You need to have something to aim at. You need to have a goal.
That's
Okay.
right.
So
Yep.
if you're getting into networking, you must outline your goal. What are you trying to achieve? Because then you can break that down into more smaller bite-sized steps that you can start tackling along the way.
Right.
Because the more positive momentum you start building by accomplishing goals, you'll just start building on that more and more and more. So when it comes to networking, outline what you're trying to achieve. And when you're approaching it, take some time to learn what networking really is. You don't want to be the guy who's coming in and, just walk around a room of 40 people and try and close everybody on the
Right.
spot.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to work with that guy.
Right. Yep.
And it's really building genuine relationships. Expect it to take some time. Hardly ever is networking, the fast way to grow
Great
your
point.
business.
Yep.
It's the long, slow growth. It will compound exponentially. Once you're, the
Absolutely.
word of mouth referrals, it's almost like shout out to David Moon. It's like your compounded interest, right?
Oh,
If
yeah,
you look
yeah,
at,
yeah.
Look at a chart and you see the compound growth of interest. It grows exponentially, where it's a little bit, then it just starts taking off on this crazy upward trend, and that's the power of networking.
Absolutely. Almost like a spider web.
Exactly.
Yep.
And thinking about it, looking back, like seeing some of the people, it's like, you got that referral, from this person, from that. It's like the craziest chain
Yeah.
link
Oh, yeah.
of how people actually got to you. I mean, speaking of even networking, Dr. Josh Wright, he was the first person that got me involved in any networking group. He knew
Awesome.
that I met him at the Thursday group.
Okay.
Had known him a little bit from John as well. I met a bunch of people when I was there.
Right. Right.
And there was another group he was involved in, and and I was really searching hard to get involved in a networking group, and he was the first person to offer me an opportunity, and it has just like spiraled from there.
Awesome.
Like even
Oh, that's great.
marking back the trail of how I got to RDC and our group, it's just crazy. It's so cool to sit back and think about. So I guess to surmise the question that you asked me, it's have a goal, put the work in, be diligent about what you're doing, and really look for good relationships.
Absolutely.
They will
Absolutely.
pay off, and not on a monetary evaluation, in a life evaluation. I mean, I look back, like networking, there are people I'll never do business with, and that's okay. That's not what it's about for me.
Right.
I go
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it
yeah.
because I have that interest of people and love to learn from them. So even if I go out to an event and I didn't get business from it, that wasn't my goal.
Right.
My goal was to go there and meet people, be present in the community.
Relationships. It's all about relationships.
Exactly.
That's for sure. And I know some people, when they go to network, they don't understand that, or they don't know that at first. They think just showing up, and that's going to work. But you kind of got to get to know people, build relationships, know, like, and trust them to be able to refer them, but also support them, support their events that they put on, stuff like that. So,
And what you said right there, I mean, being someone that people like and trust, think about your own life. How quickly do you find someone and you're like, oh, I like and trust them. I met them one time. They're the best. Hardly ever.
right,
You build a
absolutely,
relationship.
Absolutely,
And
yeah,
at the end of the day, when it comes to business, people are going to work with who they like.
absolutely.
If you're, a good friend and you're, good as somebody, they will be more inclined to work with you, or at least try and help you, like you maybe have helped them in the past. I mean, and to me, it's just, it is the coolest thing. Like
Awesome.
that is what drives me and
Absolutely.
propels me. So.
Absolutely. So we're almost out of time. Have one last question for you.
Sure.
So if you could ask one question to one person, living or no longer with us, what would the question be? And who would it be, and what would the question be?
Does it have to be somebody business related?
It can be anybody,
Anybody?
living or no longer with us. One question.
Hopefully this isn't cheesy, but I would choose Jesus. I would go back and I'd be able to have a conversation with Jesus. I think that'd be absolutely priceless.
And the one question.
How do I best fulfill my life's purpose?
Awesome. That's a great question. Great question. Great person, obviously. Well, thank you, David. We're out of time. It's been great on the Eagle Network podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see everyone next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Hello, welcome to Good Vibes Nutrition, where every day is Friday. Good Vibes Nutrition was created to provide an environment of self-improvement through health, happiness, and community.
To learn more or to apply for my coaching services, call 904-236-0431 or visit jshearbusinessconsulting.com.
Welcome to the Eagle Network Podcast, where business networking meets success. Sponsored by Eagle Pest Solutions, your once-a-year pest control solution in Palm Coast, St. Augustine, and Ormond Beach. Safer, better, less intrusive pest control. Got bugs? No one likes bugs. Come soar with us. Call today at 386-445-7414 for a free inspection and quote. That's 386-445-7414.